My story dates back to summer of 1998. I was 8 years old, living in the province with my grandparents. I finished primary school there. We didn't live in a subdivision or something. It was your typical Filipino community in the province. Large backyards, trees, and all that kind of stuff. Laid back, country living. And we also lived near this cemetery, a public one. It wasn't even fenced, and people would pass through it from all directions. But it was a huge cemetery, and that's the best place to hide from someone. When you get tired, just walk straight into whatever direction and you'll find an exit. It was not uncommon to see kids and adults hanging around that place because it was cool and quiet. There were no creepy stories or anything. Nobody feared anything specific in that place. But sometimes the silence, especially in the late afternoon, could freak you out. It kind of makes you feel like you're the only person left in the world or something. So, me and my friends, my neighbors actually, played there every day. Normally there were six of us: me, the twins Ronnie and Romy, who were 9 years old at that time, Kuya Jack, the eldest of us, he was 11, Hannah, the girl neighbor who was there only during summer. She was also 8 like me, and Albert, who was the youngest at 7. We had that batang kalia look, skinny, tan, sun damaged hair, tank tops that were way too big for our bodies. So it was a May afternoon when Hannah introduced us to Dead Man's Tag. We didn't know it's called Dead Man's Tag during that time. I learned about the name of the game several years after that day, and Hannah simply described the game to us. We were to gather in the cemetery with our flashlights in the evening, select a home base, and practically call out to the dead to play hide and seek with us. She said that the dead or whatever will look for us and we were supposed to hide. But we'll inform the dead how long the search would be, and all of us kids need to be at the home base after a count of 100 or whatever was agreed. That was pretty much the mechanics of the game. Now, we love scary stories, and we were so excited to play that we made excuses to be at the cemetery past 6 p.m. with our flashlights. We selected a tombstone with a name Camilo Santos as our home base. I remember the name because I had an uncle named Camilo. It was not unique at all. That was just the nearest tombstone, really. Albert was a bit unsure of the idea. He was the youngest and was afraid of the dark, but he agreed to play with us eventually. So we started the game and we ran to different directions. Albert was tailing me at first, but I told him that's not how the game is played, that he should find his own spot, so we split. After a couple of minutes, I was back in our home base and I couldn't stop talking about the experience. Nothing weird happened, really. I thought it was really just us scaring ourselves. But for some reason, we couldn't find Albert. We spent a few minutes looking for him, but we thought maybe he decided to go. After all, he was really scared. But Albert was never found. I left the town eventually to study in Manila, but I would go back from time to time for family occasions. Last year I went back for my lolo's babang luksa, which happened to fall on the 1st of November. The cemetery was, of course, busier than usual. The vendors, rowdy teenagers, non-locals visiting were looking for graves of deceased relatives. My tita approached me while I was tidying my lolo's grave and said that the cemetery was so disorganized that people are left to search for graves on their own, and some are even getting lost. She said she bumped into this boy looking for a grave, and the odd thing was the boy looked like a local, and locals don't really get lost in that cemetery. The boy was looking for the grave of a Camilo Santos. And right there and then, I felt frightened and sad at the same time because I just knew that that boy was Albert and he could have been looking for our home base in the past 20 years. I wish I met him.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Field. Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever. Live